What's up? Welcome back. Oh, how am I gonna do this? Oh, pooper. 1 minute. Okay, my loves. Hi. We're back. I was getting started on starting and thought, you know what? You asked me all the questions. I'm gonna answer your questions. Chicken my stingens. I need to know what the questions are. You know what? I'm just gonna tuck this behind my ear for now because I already know I'm gonna be fussing with it. Hello, welcome back. I'm so glad that you decided to hop on and just sit with me for a minute and discuss life. Our last vlog was all about starting your year with intentions and doing things differently for yourself, having a separation season so that you could move yourself closer and closer to your goals. Obviously, the things that, this is a faith-based channel, so obviously the things that we feel like the Lord is calling us to, or even calling us away from, so that way we're living our best versions of ourselves, but also the best version of ourselves that He has designed and created for us to be. We would get to the end of this year and think, wow, I didn't waste my time. I didn't waste my money. I didn't waste my energy, and I'm better for it. Let me just do this because I want to make this a short one today. So let's just get into it. The first couple are pretty simple. Why are you so cute?
Thank you. Love you.
Oh, because my mama, duh. How do you do it all? Found a contractor yet? My skin is so dry because of this stupid weather.
Same, sis.
Do you have anything that will help with that? So if you're new here, I am a girl who does, like this person says, how do you do it all? I'm a girl who does a little bit of everything.
I'm a full-time teacher, worship leader. I run a women's ministry called G.O.S.H Girl.
You are on the G.O.S.H Girl channel.
I am in a master's program for a counseling degree. I'm a wife, I'm a sister, I'm a daughter, I have a friends group, I'm into some hobbies.
All the things. And so to answer your question, how do you do it all? It's by the grace of God. For sure, I have to stick to my calendar. I have to make sure that I'm reminding myself of my why in everything that I do. Because if we lose our why, we easily get distracted by the frustrations of other people or how much time it's taking to get the job done. We could easily get frustrated and consumed by negativity if we aren't refreshing and reminding ourselves of our why. So I have to do that often. And if my why is ever not aligning with the call that the Lord has on my life, then I need to readdress, I need to reassess, I need to change things and go about it in a different way so that it does align. If there's just absolutely no way that it can align, then I've got to quit saying yes to that thing, start saying no to it so that I can say yes to the things that the Lord has called me to. So how do I do it all? The grace of God, a calendar, and make sure that your why is like ingrained in you for that thing, for that relationship, for that season, whatever it may be. Okay, so found a contractor yet? No. We thought we had, we were very hopeful, and most everybody, so when we first sold our house, moved here, it was right around the holidays, and so the holidays kind of consumed everything, and most everybody that we talked to were saying things like, get with us after the first of the year. So we've started reaching back out to some of those people. It doesn't help that Philip and I have been really back and forth. I've talked a little bit about this on my social media, but we've been really back and forth about like, what is forever home? What is not? What does that look like? What's the steps of getting there? All that kind of stuff. And so it didn't help that we were kind of wishy-washy in some of that. I do feel like we have made a final decision about my grandmother's house that we are renovating, and that season of forever home will be what it needs to be when it comes, I guess is the way to say that. Yeah, dry skin. Yes, girl, I can hook you up. I have That was the other thing of one of the many things that I do is
I am a skincare affiliate with New Skin.
yes, get with me. That body butter, so good. Moving on, favorite worship song right now. If I had to pick just one right now, it would definitely be Joy in the Morning by Elevation and Taryn Wills. I have really been going through it mentally. You know, I don't ever want to make you guys think that like I've gotten to this point where I don't struggle with anxiety or don't struggle with depression ever, because I just think that the times that we're living in are so hard. When the calling on your life is so real and necessary and heavy, then, you know, I feel like we are maybe more susceptible to just the woes. And so that song for me, Joy in the Morning, has really been something that I can hold on to and lean into, because, you know, there's been several days here recently where the night is really dark. Worked really hard to keep my anxiety under control and not be so scared to talk about it, but I've also worked really hard to come out of those dark places. And so when I start to feel myself going back to that, it's kind of scary. When is the next G.O.S.H Girl gathering? Somebody else asked what's next for G.O.S.H Girl. Somebody else asked, haven't heard much about G.O.S.H Girl. Are you not doing it anymore? The answer is no. We are still very much rocking and rolling with G.O.S.H Girl. I will say though that because there's so much other change going on in my life that we'll talk about in a minute, I don't want to say drop the ball. I have assessed, like I was talking about a while ago, and I've had to say no to some things revolving around G.O.S.H Girl for the time being, so that all the other change in my life can take place, and then G.O.S.H Girl can be what it really needs to be and what I feel the vision for that is. When is the next G.O.S.H Girl gathering? Always in October. The big deal gathering is always in October. We were still planning on having that in October of 23. What's next for G.O.S.H Girl is that when I get to a more settled place, okay, let's just jump to the next questions and then we'll talk more about G.O.S.H Girl. Somebody said, are you okay? You seem a little sad. I am okay. Yes, I've been sad. And it's weird. It's hard to put into words. It was funny because the are you okay? You seem a little sad question came around about the same time as do you know about PMDD? PMDD stands for premenstrual disorder. It is a severe version of PMS. So if you're a male, just maybe fast forward a little bit for this. I think it's important for us all to know what's really going on with our bodies and what's going on with the people around us, so that we don't judge, so that we are more patient, more kind, more understanding. So yes, I've been sad. I have not been officially diagnosed with PMDD, but I fully feel like that my hormones since coming off of fertility medicine have been all over the place, more so than they were before fertility medicine. So where PMS comes on with the onset of your cycle, this actually happens for about 2 weeks before the cycle and then 2 weeks after the cycle. So really, you're up and down the entire month, month after month after month, and that makes so much sense for me. I just want to read you a few of the symptoms, and there's a couple of them I want to talk about more specifically. So psychological symptoms: irritability, nervousness, lack of control, agitation, anger, insomnia, difficulty in concentrating, depression, fatigue, anxiety, confusion, forgetfulness, poor self-image, paranoia, emotional sensitivity, crying spells, moodiness, trouble sleeping. Literally every single one of those I've really been struggling with this past month. GI symptoms would be abdominal cramps, bloating, constipation, nausea, vomiting, pelvic heaviness or pressure, and backache. Lots of that. Skin problems, acne, skin inflammation with itching. Huge for me. Neurological, headache, dizziness, fainting, numbness, prickling, tingling, or heightened sensitivity of arms and or legs. That is huge for me. Easy bruising, heart palpitations, muscle spasm, like all of these things are like red flags whenever I read this. And to see those symptoms listed out, it was very obvious to me, thankfully, that I'm not crazy. My body is just doing something really strange, and it's because of this. And so now that I know and am more aware of this, I'm trying to be more present for myself so that, you know, I can say, okay, I'm getting close to my cycle. These things are going to start showing up. I'm not crazy. I can let my husband know that, hey, by the way, we're getting close and I'm feeling a little agitated. Just want to make sure you knew, like, I'm not trying to be ugly to you, but this is just right. So I feel like I can easier control these things or deal with these things because I know they exist and I know that there's a reason for it. Also, knowledge is power. We perish for lack of knowledge, right? And it has been super, super helpful for me to know that there are things that I can do to help with these things. In that same line, somebody asked, hopefully this isn't too forward, but why have you not tried IVF? Somebody else asked, what is the trying to conceive status for you and Philip? It's not too forward. I'm okay. Several reasons we have not done IVF. For one, we want to build a house and IVF is expensive. Two, I'm in a master's program and IVF is expensive. I feel like that if we were, and we're 5 years in now, so I feel like if we were further into it and we were, I don't want to say better financially because we're very, very, very blessed. But if we didn't have so much moving pieces in our lives right now, then I feel like we would probably try IVF. I really, really, really just want to faith this through and just let the Lord do whatever He wants to do. Just for us, I'm just not there. Like I don't really have peace about it, and it's also very, very expensive. So if I had more peace, I would be okay with spending the money, I guess. The trying to conceive status is we're just trying to conceive. We're not taking any medicine. I do a much better job. I've learned so much through this journey about my body and about health, and I'm so much better about taking better care of myself, being more intentional with what I eat, what I drink, what I don't eat, when I eat it, when I don't, all the things. And I've been better about not letting all of that consume me. So, you know, because if it's something that I can control, honey, we about to do it till we can't do it no more. Okay, I'm running out of sand. I gotta keep going. How's school going? This is a refreshing conversation, a refreshing question that you've asked. I'm assuming you mean my master's program. School is going really well. So well that, well, one, I love it. Like, I love doing what I'm doing right now. I've been doing several intensive classes where we have to do virtual counseling. So fulfilling, so informative. Like, I'm learning so much about my counseling style and the technique and, you know, what the do's and don'ts, I guess, of counseling. But school is going so well that I will take, you know what? Let's hold off on that. I'm going to answer the next question. Somebody said, change. Are you talking about hair extensions? No, I wasn't talking about hair extensions when I said a lot is changing for me in the next couple of months. Then somebody said, you keep saying the word change. I'm dying to know, what is the change? The huge change is, to follow up with the how's school going. School is going so well that I take my last few core classes for the program in the summer, and in the fall I will start my internship. I'm so excited. That means that I get to do what I've fallen in love with. I get to do it every day. Which means, here's the change, I am leaving the classroom. Like, official, it's done. I've put in the paperwork. It's weird coming out of my mouth. It's weird processing through my brain. It's weird when I am in my classroom and I look around and I think, wow, this is the last blank, right? This is the last, and don't get me wrong, like I so much plan to, you know, as soon as next school year, volunteer as much as I can at the school that I'm at. And I'm pointing because it's in that direction. I plan to volunteer as much as I can for the school, but the school system as a whole, because I'm a firm believer that we need community workers to help in our school system. Like, we cannot keep plopping stuff on educators and administration to give kids the support they need. Yeah.
It's crazy. I'm about to turn 34, and I'm homeless, jobless.
I'm saying that very jokingly. Not homeless. We're very blessed to be able to live with my mother-in-law. I'm not jobless. The Lord is providing everything that we need. You know, when I think back to just how Gosh Girl transpired and what that is doing in this season, how New Skin transpired and what that is doing for us in this season, my worship leading opportunities, like the things that he set up before I realized what was even happening, and then the way it's coming together all at once is so beautiful.
Yes, scary.
But yes, beautiful. And again, it's weird coming out of my mouth, but the exciting parts that I feel, I'm holding on to that because I know how I am as a person. So now there's the change. We still have a lot to do, but we're moving on to the next step, and that's super exciting. Somebody said, would you consider taking a counselor position at the same school you're at now? My vision, my hope, my dream would be to contract out my services somehow, some way to schools. Whether that be like coming in and just being a guest speaker or having a caseload, things like that. I would love to be able to give my services without being a school system employee. I feel like I would be able, just knowing what school counselors have to do and are required to do by the state these days, I want to really counsel. I feel like my services and my giftings would be better utilized if I was able to do it in that way. Do you see yourself going back to being a teacher if you don't feel fulfilled being a counselor? No. Oog. I don't foresee myself not being fulfilled as a counselor. I think that the reason I was fulfilled as much as I was being a teacher is because of how much counseling teachers have to do. And so when I think about myself getting to do those things and counsel 24/7, I feel like there's not going to be a time where I'm not fulfilled. And I could be completely wrong, but no, I don't see myself going back to the classroom. And again, it makes me a little sad. It's a little bittersweet. That's all my questions. And look, we did good. If I could leave you with one thing that I feel like I'm very pushed and pressed to say before I hit the end button on that camera, is that you need to do whatever you are feeling called to do. And if that calling that you're feeling pressed into means that you need to go for higher education, if it means that you need to be more disciplined and wake up 15 minutes earlier every single day or an hour earlier every single day because you've got kids in your face 24/7 and you're being a mom and you're being a wife and you're being all the things and you don't have time for you, and that means if I want this thing for me, this thing that I feel like I'm being pushed into and called into by the Lord, you do whatever it takes to do that. I'm giving you permission to quit spending so much of your time fulfilling others. And I hope you hear my heart with this, because I do think that we're here and we're called to fulfill others. That's why I want to be a counselor. But if I'm constantly pouring out, at some point, I'm not going to have anything to pour out. So do the things that you need to do so that way you're poured into to be able to pour out. I'm not saying that it's me, myself, and I, and it's this very vain, selfish mentality. That's not what I'm talking about in the least. I just know that I have spent so much time doing things or not doing things, most of the time not doing things, for several reasons. And one of those being that I didn't think I deserved it. I didn't think I could because I didn't have the education, because I didn't have the finances, because I just didn't have. That just meant that I needed to do something differently so that I did have. We waste so much of our lives and we hinder so much of the calling because we think we can't, because we think we don't have what we need, because why would he ever tell me to do that? I don't deserve that. What are people going to think? What are people going to say? Who cares? Who cares? The call on my life has not and will not go away. So I have got to either do what I'm supposed to do to fulfill that call, or I'm going to be miserable. So if you find yourself in a place where you are unsatisfied, unfulfilled, burned out, exhausted, mentally drained, depressed, anxious, whatever, God has graced you for so much more than those feelings of negativity. It's a daily choice of action. So I give you permission. Step out. Step out, whatever that looks or sounds or feels like. Say no to the things that you know you need to say no to, so that you can say yes to the things that you know you need to say yes to. And watch him use that obedience for his glory. Watch him use that for your good. Watch him change other people's lives because you're letting him change yours. It's an amazing place to be. Yes, I'm scared. I am terrified of the unknown. But it's the craziest free fall that I've ever been on. It is the most exciting and rewarding free fall that I have ever been on. And the fact that I've had to keep hush about this for so long, it feels so freeing to tell you this. So I can't wait to take you along with the ride. If you don't follow me on Instagram or Facebook, be sure that you do that, because those are the daily updates of my crazy, crazy, busy, very blessed life. I would love to chat with you there as well. Stay tuned for more. I love you so much. Can I just give us an OG Gosh Girl moment? Gosh Girl, you so pretty. Gosh Girl, you so brave. Gosh Girl, you so got this. I love ya, and we'll chat soon. Oh, my foot. Oh, my leg is asleep. Oh, gosh. Okay.